Hello, my name is Gary Spracklin and I am Director of Digital Learning and Innovation at the fantastic Isle of Portland Aldridge Community Academy. Phil has just asked me to share 5 minutes with you today about where we've come from and where we're going as a school, and I'm really excited to share with you how learning is developing on the Isle of Portland in England. I've shared the picture here on the right of Portland. This was an image recently posted to Facebook by Chris Hadfield, the Canadian astronaut who's just returned from the International Space Centre. Many of you would have seen his video perhaps of him singing the David Bowie song. And he put down that the Isle of Portland looks like an interesting place, the type of place I'd like to visit now I'm back on Earth, and we couldn't agree more. There's loads of exciting things happening here, and I'm just going to flick through some of those things for you now. So, the big thing really for us has been the location where we are and the different schools that we've taken on board. And essentially what we've done is we've taken 5 existing schools on the island and we've become one school together. This news clip sort of shows where we've come from.
Now, the traditional system of primary and secondary schools on Portland in Dorset is being replaced. 4 schools are coming together as one academy. Pupils would go there from the age of 4 to 19.
It's going to start running in September in existing buildings, but pupils will move to 2 new sites next year. Our Dorset correspondent Duncan Slytown reports.
These young pupils at Grove Infants have a good 10 years or more of education to look forward to. But unlike other youngsters, from next year they won't have to change school halfway through. Under the academy system on Portland, primary and secondary schools are being replaced with what they're calling all-through education.
My son last year left this school, the infant school, and moved to junior school, and I was really surprised by the effect it had on his learning. It certainly set him back in the areas that he was less confident, and so transition has a dramatic effect on children. Some never recover from it.
One infant school, 2 primaries and Portland's only secondary school are joining together to form the academy, funded directly by central government rather than the local education authority. In September 2013 they'll move to 2 new centres on the island at a cost of £15 million. It means sites like the current Royal Manor School will be sold off. Staff argue facilities here are limited, which is why they joined other schools on the academy bid.
So we are in that year now of change ahead, and what a year it's been. It's been so exciting, with children getting new uniform on the first day of term and just straight away developing that ethos of one school. But we've still been working across those 5 campus sites that you saw pictures of before. Sorry, the pitch quality is not so clear on these, but you'll see our 5 existing sites popping up. Which has meant that we've had to work different ways. Our long-term aim, as said in the video there, is to move to 2 new campus sites. The first of which is Osprey Quay, which we're very excited to be opening this September. This is just a fantastic learning space with large, open learning spaces that are just fantastic. And we're really looking forward to equipping those in the coming months. The second is Maritime House. We're still seeking planning permission on that. But it again promises to be a really exciting site. So that's the sort of side of things that everyone sees from the outside. And to be honest with you, a lot of the publicity around our academy, both in our region and nationally, is about the buildings. It's about us changing from 5 sites to 1. But really, that's only the tip of the iceberg, because the real hard work is happening in how we're rethinking learning, and that's all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes, really. And critical to that is the focus on learner-led design that we're putting here. Now, we're very fortunate in that we have the benefit of having Professor Stephen Heppel as the patron of our academy. Stephen is heavily involved in the academy and is a great supporter of all that we're doing here, and it is a fantastic inspiration for me. Stephen's got a vested interest in that he's got 2 grandchildren that come to our academy, and we're taking lots of his thoughts and developing them and taking all those ingredients that he's finding around the world. Also really inspired by his daughter's work, Juliet Heppel. If you've not seen Juliet Heppel's work, do a Google search and just see the wonderful resources that her school in London are doing. Are absolutely fabulous. And basically, this learner-led design is impacting what we do and how we approach things. So I'm really keen on getting the learners involved as much as possible. So in my role, which is heavily involved with the digital learning, I'm taking pupils out and meeting with suppliers. So this is us in London speaking with BT, which are major telecoms provider in the UK, and we went to the head office at BT Tower, and we didn't just go there for sightseeing, we didn't just go there to pay lip service to pupils, but we went there for the pupils to engage with the company and say what they wanted from the product. At the end of the day, they're the end user, and it's so exciting to get involved. And you know what? This just leads to better design and better products and better outcomes for the learning spaces. Here's an area designed by pupils for pupils in our art department at our existing campus, and just a normal garden shed transformed through perspex, and it just creates that space within the space that's so important. So learner-led design
as
really
having digital
important.
leads, we also have learner-led events. So whenever we have a big event, we have children along, not just to show that there's children there, but they're very much involved in the planning of the event.
Okay, so I just showed a very quick snippet of that. I've also done another separate video called Learner-Led Design on YouTube, which you may want to hunt out if you just search for my name. That's about a 15-minute video talking about how we are using learner-led design at our academy. Okay, so another thing that's really important to us is the concept of stage, not age. We truly believe in the concept that, why should you be boxed in rooms of children that are born between the same September and September as it is in the UK? Is that right? Does it support the best learning? We're exploring that, we're challenging that, and we've said from the very outset that this academy is about stage, not age. It's an all-through academy that supports children developing as they develop. And this is something that was already happening in the academy, but only in the early years ages. So children aged 3 to 5 would be working in a stage, not age approach. And our vision very much for the whole academy is for that early years practice to feed right through and impact in all that we do. And we've taken great inspiration from people like Mitchell Risneck, who did a great Learning Frontiers speech, which you can also catch on YouTube.
Because I think about great European inventions, it's not these that I think about. For me, the greatest of all inventions came in the 19th century. That was the invention of kindergarten. So, and
he goes on in his YouTube clip, and you can catch up with that another time, but just talks about how the best thing that's ever been invented is early years education, and the wonderful impact that this can have if we look at it for our whole organisation. And finally, the one thing that we're really pushing here at IPACA as well is digital learning, embedding this in all that we do. And I want to just close really my little 5-minute stint by showing you a short video that a pupil at our secondary campus, aged around 14, created. And just the one thing I want to say about that really is that underneath that video on YouTube, the first thing that he made a comment about, he commented on his own work, and he said, "This is what I did when I was ill from school, when I was off sick." And that really challenged me, because it just shows the digital world that our pupils now live in, and the fact that digital technology is ingrained in what they do. And I would really challenge my colleagues to say, well, would he have done more than that at school? Would he have challenged himself as much as he did in learning the software and uploading it and doing something for an audience? Are we doing that in school? Are we challenging it? Are we building upon that? And that's what I'm trying to do in my practice. And again, it's coming back to that learner-led design. And in fact, this learner is going to be designing artwork that's going on the walls for me. And he's one of our digital leaders, someone that's leading a leading champion for digital technology in schools. And I think there's just a fantastic future ahead. So if you want to find out about some of the learning that's happening at the Isle of Portland Aldridge Community Academy, check out the YouTube channel, check out our website www.ipaca.org.uk, and get in touch through Twitter. Thank you for watching this, and all I can say really is to the future. It's going to be exceptionally exciting, and I think just the best time to be a learner.